This is the Midwestern Whisper. This is Whisper 31. I haven't been doing videos on Sunday, but I happen to be on my computer for the first time today. And I've just decided to do a quick little whisper. Today was pretty good. Sunday is usually the day that I try to do something with my family, make it a family day. My mother and I don't always get along the best, so we don't spend a lot of time together in recent years. But recently we started talking again and decided to try to make more of an effort to see each other, so we went over there today. And I got to see two of my nieces I hadn't seen in 6 months. And they got to play with my son, so that was pretty good. And we had a nice visit there. And then later this evening, a few hours before dark, my wife and my son and I went for a nature walk. Being that she's pregnant, she couldn't do a huge walk, but we probably walked 3/4 of a mile maybe. There's a lake in town that has timber trails, and it was kind of a slow walk. I mean, it didn't really get my heart beating, but it was nice for family time. And my son is just as inquisitive as I was at that age. Has to stop and check out every anthill and every little tree stump and every blade of grass along the way. And I'm glad that he's that way, because he's curious. He's got a very cute mind. And his questions never stop. And I used to think that was kind of funny when my mother said I did that, but for the most part, I'm ready to answer any question he has, because once the questions stop, then you stop learning. And I hope that never happens. I really hope that it never happens with anyone. You should learn something new every day, even if it's small. But anyway, he does have a habit of once in a while asking questions he knows the answer to. And I suspect that's normal for a 5-year-old, but it's like he wants me to jump through his hoops, or he just wants to be part of a conversation when he doesn't have anything really to say. But I try to be patient. My parents weren't always as patient. And that's another person you should learn from. Your parents should teach you things. City, but we do have a Dairy Queen. But anyway, so we decided to go back across town, go to the Dairy Queen, because we didn't feel like standing in line for 45 minutes for an ice cream sundae. Speaking of that, I don't know if any of you know the story behind the ice cream sundae. I might get the town wrong, but I think it was Chicago. It might have been someplace else, but it was some American city. The people, church-going people, disapproved of anything gluttonous on Sundays, and like ice cream cones or malts or shakes, and basically they couldn't have it. And someone that invented the ice cream sundae said that this was okay on Sunday, and that's why it's spelled different. So it's not an ice cream on Sunday, it's just a sundae. And I might have messed that story up a little bit, but that's basically the premise of it. There's all kinds of interesting stories of the origins of food. The story behind Cracker Jack. In the late 1800s, there was a man that sold peanuts in a street vendor in New York City, and he also sold caramel popcorn separately, and he did this for 20 years. And on the 20th anniversary of his street vendor business, he decided to mix the peanuts and popcorn together. And a teenager came up and tried it, and he said, "That's Cracker Jack." Cracker meaning the slang for the time for cool, and Jack for the name of someone that you don't know, their real name. So he said, "That's cool, Mister," basically, or it's Cracker Jack, and thus the name was born. Now, the origin of the boy sailor and the dog icon, I don't know that story. But real quickly here, one other story, and origins of food have so many interesting stories. Like for example, chow mein. You would think it originated in China or some other Asian country, but no. It originated in San Francisco in the late 1800s. There were many immigrants from China, and they weren't treated the best as a minority, and basically they had to eat the leftover Chinese food, and because they couldn't waste it, and basically didn't have money to buy other foods. But one particular man, I don't know if they ever named him in history, but he decided to take all this leftover food and chop it up and fry it in oil and season it and give it a little better flavor. And an American smelled it and asked to try it, and thus the dish was born. One other story real quickly, because my wife wants to look at baby names again, and I'm not so sure we're going to settle on Evelyn after all. She doesn't want anyone to call baby Eve. She says it's a separate name. I don't think it's a separate name, but that's what she claims, because she's saying Evelyn. It's not Evelyn. It's Evelyn, and Eve would not be the proper name to shorten. So, anyway, one other quick story is the origin of the potato chip. Began in the late 1800s. A man came into a restaurant and ordered fried potatoes, and the chef cooked them and sent them out, and the man chef was pretty upset, and to try and anger or insult the customer, he sliced them wafer thin, threw them in oil, and deep fat fried them to make them hard and crispy, and sent them out yet again. And when he did this, the customer couldn't even use his fork because they were so hard, but he tried them and loved them, and thus the potato chip was born. And it's kind of funny because it was meant to insult the man, yet it started a new phase. I guess that phase would be fat Americans and hard congested Americans. I love potato chips too, but I don't eat them too often. Just can't.